5 record. Good afternoon, everybody. Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons, Benny Mitchell producing. The Golden Knights have played well recently, falling to number 4 Apo 1-0 and defeating Stephen Decatur in their last game 6-5. Of course, two players that had a significant role in the program's success graduated last year. Madge Layfield at Central Arkansas now. She's had 17 appearances this season, has a 6-4 record. And Tequila Davis out of Arizona State, batting .253 with 24 hits, and she scored 21 runs. Those two were instrumental in the success of the Golden Knights last year. Let me bring in my broadcast partner, Shannon Timmons. And Shannon, Central has struggled a little bit this year without those two in the lineup, but freshman Tamora Hall is improving for them in the circle.
Yeah, and I think it's a hard person to replace when you have somebody like Madge Layfield, who did a majority of the pitching for the past 4 years. Tamora comes in as a freshman, and she has to just learn how to compete at this varsity level. We've talked about that in the past, what a jump that is from middle school softball to the varsity level, and to compete in the Henlopen Conference where Sussex Central sits is definitely a challenge for her. I think she's starting to figure things out, as you said. And Coach John Wells has a fairly young squad, just one senior catcher, Elizabeth Baker, behind the plate today. So his squad just has some learning to do, and there's some growing pains that happen, and they just have to keep working through that.
Meanwhile, Lake Forest has arguably the best overall player in the state with Kara Sumter in the circle and at the plate. However, she has an impressive cast of characters that boast a team batting average well over 300.
She does, and we saw, had the fortunate opportunity to see her throw at Polytech and help her team offensively as well. Kara Sumter, what more can you say about her? What a complete package. She pitches, she fields her position well, and she helps at the plate. 4-year starting pitcher, first team All-State in 2024, mixing pitches really well, and just solid all the way around. Bailey Glandon, another one of those cast of characters you're saying we showed up here today. They had some fun hats on as they were warming up today. Junior shortstop, first team All-State 2024, is lefty power hitter, tough, solid defensively. We've seen her just throughout the season make plays. And Chloe Ravella, junior catcher, always bringing the energy to the team. She's a wall behind the plate, pretty solid so far this season. So we'll look at those three on the Lake Forest side today.
Sussex Central will visit second-ranked Cape Henlopen next week, and we will be there for that one. On Tuesday, Lake Forest travels to Indian River and Smyrna for its next two games. All right, we're ready to go, Shannon.
We will look at the first hitter here for Sussex Central, third baseman Lauren Myers. First pitch delivered is high for ball one. We will see the rise ball, the curve ball, and a really nice off-speed changeup from Sumter today. She's set to deliver, and that is in for a called strike.
Yeah, early 1-1 count. Nice day. I'll tell you what, we were talking about last time we had Lake up at Polytech a little over a week ago. 30-mile-an-hour winds, 30-degree temperature. What a difference.
As she swings through that for strike two. Again, we talk all the time about these leadoff hitters really needing to see some pitches, gain some information. Regardless of the outcome of their at-bat, they are there to get some information for their team and gain some confidence offensively as Sumter throws that rise ball again high for a 2-2 count. Myers, a seasoned veteran on this squad, holding down third base for Coach Wells. Great eye for the strike zone. And takes that for a called strike three on the outside corner as she goes to the curveball. One out here in the first. That will bring the shortstop, Adeline Lutz, to the plate. Lutz, just a freshman here for Sussex Central, as she swings through a ball low in the zone for strike one.
Last time we had these two, rather we had Lake and Polytech, Kara was our player of the game, and very, very gracious in the interview.
Yeah, she's really come into her own over the course of the past couple of seasons. Just, again, an all-around player. Headed to Monmouth next year to continue her career, both with academics and softball. Always nice to see that. As that pitch comes in for a ball.
I thought she was real humble when we were interviewing her, credited all of her teammates. Of course, she had 5 RBI in that game. She knocked in 5 of the 8 runs.
Little pop up to the infield. Second baseman making a nice long run in. We heard her call that. Communication's always important. That is going to be Alyssa Hastings making that play for out number 2.
This is one of their better batters right here, I think, in Kruger.
It is. And, you know, one of the things that Kara did say is she can rely on her defense. You know, she can pitch to contact, and her defense is behind her. She doesn't feel that pressure to have to strike everyone out. She starts off there with a called strike to Kruger. Kruger, a big name in softball. We remember her sister played at Sussex Tech and Del Tech. She fouls that pitch back, goes 0-2 quickly. And one of the things we talked about when we saw Kara pitch before is how well and how efficient she pitches in getting ahead of these batters, and she has done that again today so far. She puts those batters in a hole that they have to fight and struggle out of, which frees her up. And that is the first ball of the at-bat. Frees her up to go ahead and be creative with her pitches and try to expand the zone and see if they'll chase some things. I won't be surprised to see her pull the string on a changeup. Goes to the rise ball and gets her swinging about eye level. So no runs, no hits as we go through the top half of the first inning here.
Yep, no score, and Lake Forest coming up to bat. All right, here we go. Bottom half of the first inning here at Lake Forest High School. I don't know about you, Shannon. First time I've ever called a game here in Spartan Country.
First time I've called a game here. We got to see these two teams face off here last year for the Henlopen Conference Championship game. But I just covered that, you know, for 302 without the whole crew here. But it's definitely a nice facility that Lake Forest has put in here. We are back here in the woods a little bit. We joke about that, but nice field, nice facility. They've done a nice job, you know, putting this field in for the girls, and we have a great day here.
Oh, we do. Well, here she is. What'd you call her, a little spark plug?
She is. So we're going to see Katie Pierce lead off, followed by Bailey Glandon, the shortstop, and Kara Sumter, the pitcher. First 3 hitters that will face freshman Tamora Hall in the circle for Sussex Central.
They're the table setters, Pierce and Glandon.
Ball 1 high. And I have not had the chance to see this Sussex Central team live yet, Glenn. I've watched a little bit of film, but haven't seen Hall pitch live. So nice opportunity today to get to see her as Pierce fouls that pitch back. 1-1 count. And Katie is little but mighty. She is fast, has wheels if she can get the ball in play. Again, just flirting with the high end of the zone there. Called another ball.
Ideally, you want to pitch these slappers to the outside part of the plate, but she's been a little high.
She swings through that. And umpire said she got a little bit of it with a foul tip, so we're going to go to 2-2 count here. Katie Pierce is the leadoff hitter here for Lake Forest, bottom of the first inning.
Boy, that took some discipline to take that pitch.
Absolutely. Good eye for the strike zone. See what Hall delivers here. Payoff pitch to Katie Pierce. And she slaps it in. It just bounces off of Lauren Myers, and she's going to take advantage of the fact that she's got wheels and standing on second base. Myers slowed that ball down, so it took the left fielder a little while to get in on that. Avery Savage coming in out of left field. But Pierce ends up at second base. And that is what a lefty slapper is designed to do. So we will see Bailey Glandon step in here. Lefty hitter with a lot of power. I'm sure in your screenshot here, if we have the first base coach, that is her older sister Brooke, who played her 4 years here and went on to the University of Delaware. Bailey is also a Delaware commit as a junior. And she has a high fly ball here, right center field, that will be caught. And got it in quickly. Holden Pierce at second base for the first out of the inning. And that will bring.
Here's the big stick.
Yeah, Kara Sumter to the plate. Love seeing pitchers who can help their cause on offense, Glenn. And Sumter is certainly one of those people. She fouls back the first pitch. And we've said it before, this Lake Forest lineup has a patient but aggressive approach, right? I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but they're very well versed in the strike zone, and when they like a pitch, they go after it. Low and inside for ball one. 1-1 count. Pierce stands at second.
Good crowd here today, too, to watch this game.
Absolutely.
Lined all around the outfield, vehicles and seating.
She sends a shot out to the outfield. But center fielder Emma Jackson has time to come in and get under that for out number 2. Good work by Tamora Hall to get these heavy hitters of this Lake lineup to fly out. She's kept the ball up in the zone where they're just popping underneath of it a little bit to give her outfield time to get underneath of it. We'll bring up number 10, Chloe Ravel.
Had her batting over 525 coming in. Whew.
Little check swing there, fouls it off.
Yeah. Close up on the first baseman as she comes down to get the foul ball right in front of us. That's Carly Kruger. Tell you what, this would be huge for a Central to get out of this jam.
Absolutely.
Runner on second with nobody out. She's already battled back to get 2 outs.
It's a ball low in the zone to Ravel. Hall's doing a good job of just nibbling around the zone. Not off by much with some of these pitches. Myers decides to hold up and not make a throw on that. And I think after that hard shot she took from Pierce on that slap, she just decided to try to give that ball a little bit of room, and it got away from her. But will advance the run. Katie Pierce smart on that base running, advances the runner to third. So first and third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first will bring Rylan Rust, first baseman for Lake Forest, to the plate. As she takes a big swing through that. First strike number 1. And again, Glenn, you just said it. I'm sure Central would like to get out of this inning without having any runs scored. In a little bit more of a predicament than they were a minute ago. 2 outs, all they really have to do is worry about the batter.
Nice comfortable breeze here today. As we're just about as close to Felton and Killens Pond State Park. That was foul.
Foul ball.
Yep.
Hall doing a nice job, too, of not falling behind these hitters. So pitching with efficiency, nibbling around the zone. Again, we say all the time, the only person you have to make happy on any given day is that umpire. You have to find his strike zone. I think both pitchers are doing a great job of that here in the first inning. Ball and 2 strikes to Rust. Hall delivers. She fouls that one back. The only hitter we've seen really go deep in a count is the leadoff Katie Pierce. Rust with a grounder to the shortstop, who decides just to tag the runner for the third out and get themselves out of that sticky situation. So we will go to the top of the second. 0-0 ball game here in Spartan Country.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch.
Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Back here at Lake Forest High School, scoreless through 1 inning, as Lake Forest couldn't take advantage of getting Pierce down to second to lead the inning off. Had 2 shallow fly balls. She was not able to advance to third. Got over there on a hard shot to the third baseman, and that was it. So good job by Hall to get out of trouble.
Yeah, and just relying on her defense to do some work. She also stayed ahead of hitters, as we saw from Kara Sumter in the first inning. So could come down to a pitcher's duel today.
Well, I was following Sussex Central's game with Appo, who we have ranked number 4. Appo also undefeated, and that was a 0-0 game till the bottom of the 7th up in Middletown when Appo scored a walk-off win. But a tight game, pitcher's duel all the way through.
Well, and Appo has senior Ayla McCathern in the circle, so no shortage of pitching there for Coach Timpson up there at Appoquinimink either. All right, we are ready. Sumter in the circle, ready to deliver to Ava Brock. Second baseman. Pitch 1 just high. Coaches are calling pitches today. That pitch is in for a strike. You'll see Sumter look at her wristband to get the calls coming in.
Might need the spikes out here today.
And we're losing our tent here. Brock in the hole, 1 and 2. She takes that rise ball and just flares it to the second baseman, Alyssa Hastings, who makes another nice play here today.
I think we had a nice play by the cameraman moments ago here. I saved the canopy and the camera all in once. Had a gust.
Every once in a while, there's a little gust of wind here. All right, brings Emma Jackson, the center fielder for Sussex Central, to the plate. Sumter just brought that first pitch down right into the zone. She takes that look in for strike 1. Fouls that off, is quickly behind Sumter here. 0 and 2. Again, we talk about how efficient Sumter can be getting these hitters in the hole.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to her work that she does in the off season.
Give these girls a lot of credit. They play travel ball. They'll throw almost every game for their travel ball team and then every game for the high school team. Right at us.
Foul ball here. Carly Kruger tried to catch up to that. Just couldn't quite catch up to it. New life for Jackson.
Carly getting some CT, camera time.
And Jackson swings through that for out number 2. Third strikeout for Sumter today. And that will bring Michaela Eikenberry, the right fielder, to the plate.
Nice pitch at the bottom of the zone, Shannon. She does such a great job of just painting her spots.
And does a lot of movement north and south, which is hard to change the eye level for the hitter. Little outside for ball 1. 1-1 count to Eikenberry here. And we have yet to see the beautiful changeup that she has. She does have it. But if she's going to get these hitters to chase that rise, I would suspect she'll stick with that until she needs the changeup. You leave it in your arsenal until you need it. That ball was just a little low to Eikenberry. She swings through that, even the count, 2-2. We'll see if she tries to expand the zone here or she just goes right at her.
Ooh.
And Eikenberry able to flail that pitch in just fair for a single for the Golden Knights' first hit of the day.
Nice swing on that 2-2 pitch.
And that will bring the designated player, Nakira Copes, to the plate here with 2 outs.
Found that straight back.
Again, Sumter leaves that pitch up in the zone. You can hear Coach Wells telling his hitter, leave those alone.
Got to make a quick decision with the speed of Kara Sumter.
Copes fouls that one back as well. So she's in the hole 0-2. Great work for Kara Sumter here in the second inning. And there's that change of speed as Copes gets out in front of it and fouls that off. We can hear Wells coaching over there, telling her nothing up, knowing that's where Sumter likes to put it, and she's been successful there today. And she jammed her up, just got it off the inside of the bat. Nice play from Alyssa Hastings to Rylan Rust to end the inning. And we will be back.
For over 15 years, our company has been building homes in Sussex County, Delaware. We offer a completely comprehensive program for our customers that makes building a new home enjoyable. At Capstone Homes, we have access to lots in our amazing communities or through our realtor partners. Visit with our team of professionals for a completely comprehensive experience. We can handle absolutely every part of building a new home for you and your family. Create your new home. Create a Capstone home.
go to the bottom half of the second inning here. And Shannon, who do we have leading off for the Spartans?
We will see Carly Rebuck, the left fielder, Alyssa Hastings, the second baseman, and Abby Robinson, the third baseman, as the first three hitters. And I will try to run down the defensive set for Sussex Central here in between pitches. Oh,
Nice
that's going
hit.
to squeak through the 5-6 hole for Rebuck to have a hit and get things started for the Spartans. We have Elizabeth Baker catching, Tamora Hall pitching, Carly Kruger at first base, Ava Brock at second, Adeline Lutz at short, Lauren Myers at third. If we go around the outfield, we've got Avery Savage in left, Emma Jackson in center, and Michaela Eikenberry in right for the Golden Knights. Nice bunt attempt by Hastings, but fouls that off.
Good job by Rebuck. She was up there ready to hit and took the first pitch she saw.
And fouls that bunt attempt back as well, so she will go 0-2. Certainly not what Gabby Cubbage wanted for execution, I'm sure, there. So she will probably swing away at this point. She does, lifts one out here to right field. Caught by Eikenberry, which will hold the runner at first. One down here in the bottom of the second.
With her canopy, kind of tough to get that ball inflate.
I know I have to duck under it to see it go up. All right, that brings Abby Robinson, third baseman, to the plate for the Spartans. Hall ready to deliver. Pitch is high for ball one. Lake, I'm sure, would like to get a run here since they have that leadoff hitter on base right now. She fouls that pitch back. Count will go to 1-1.
Popular spot over there, the batting cages, for all the foul balls coming off the bats of the righties.
That, and I'd love to know how many they've lost in the woods back there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Ball in the dirt, skips away from the catcher. Rebuck will advance to second. Baker just couldn't hold on to that pitch in the dirt. So Rebuck will advance 60 feet closer to scoring.
Well, that takes care of what the bunt would have done.
Yes, it does.
Ooh,
Nice and low and
Yeah.
inside.
nice location.
Evened up now to 2-2 count to Abby Robinson. As she swings through that for out number 2.
Bottom of the order now,
Yep.
Keely Leach.
Right fielder for Lake Forest today. Hall's got to get that pitch up a little bit into the zone to even have a fighting chance for them to chase that. Pitch in the same spot, skips away again from Baker, which will advance Rebuck to third and into scoring position. Those balls that are in the dirt, sorry Glenn, are just tough to handle for the pitcher, for the catcher, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna have a little conversation now in the circle about that. Well, it's the second consecutive inning that the Spartans have gotten a base runner over to third base.
2 outs here.
Yeah, both times it was with 2 outs,
Yeah.
runner at third.
Yeah. Leach here is the last batter in the order, so we will roll the order here if she were to get on. Hall's got to keep that ball up just a little bit and help the catcher out, make her life a little easier. as she swings through that.
Yeah, a little
for
late.
Strike one.
Little late on Hall's fastball.
That ball was a little low and outside. She fouls it off down the first base line. So even up 2-2 to Leach.
Deuce is wild on the scoreboard.
That's right.
Second inning. 2-2 count, 2 outs.
Low again. He's going to work it to a full count. This is one of the only hitters that Hall has not gotten ahead of in the count. One of the only hitters to go to full count today. The only hitter, I should say. There's the payoff pitch, and she gets her to swing through it for out number 3. So able to fend off the leadoff hitter who makes her way to third to keep the score 0-0 as we will head to the top of the third when we come back.
Ready?
All right, welcome back here to Lake Forest as we have the first pitch delivered from Kara Sumter to her counterpart, Timora Hall, pitcher for the Golden Knights. See if Hall can't get something going here. She swings through that pitch. Count is 1-1. Swings through that rise ball. I always love this matchup. Freshman pitcher against senior pitcher. And she goes down looking for Sumter's 4th strikeout of the day.
That gives her 78 on the season with only 1 walk.
Wow. That is certainly impressive.
And an ERA below 1.
That'll bring left fielder number 2, Avery Savage, to the plate. As she swings through that for a strike.
I think that's just an amazing stat. She's in her 11th game of the season and only issued 1 walk.
Well, it's just a credit to how hard she works. And again, we say she kind of nibbles around the strike zone. And if she's ahead of them, she has the freedom to pitch and to get them to chase. That rise ball's tough, Glenn. I'm telling you, it's so hard to pick up. Her delivery, her arm circle's quick, and it's on top of you before you know it. And they just have to make a decision. So some of these younger hitters are chasing that pitch, and rightfully so. And she gets Savage on 3 pitches for out number 2.
I'll bring up top of the order. Third baseman Myers. I think she was a strikeout victim last inning,
She
right?
was.
Or in the first?
She was a strikeout victim her first at bat. So now that we've gone through the order one time, they've seen her. We'll see if Coach Wells and his Golden Knights can make adjustments in the box, get some base runners.
Nice location. Right at the bottom of the zone.
Just a fastball, nice location, called for a strike. 1 up in the zone. You know, while we have Myers at the plate, I am going to give her a nice little shout out. She and her family do a lot of work with veterans at the holidays, putting wreaths on the graves at veterans, and I told her I would say something to her the next time I saw her. I haven't had a chance to see her in person to thank her. My dad's a veteran, so I certainly do appreciate that. But shout out to Lauren and her family for doing those things in the community. That certainly means a lot to a lot of people.
It sure does.
As Sumter comes inside and jams her up, she just fights that off and fouls it off. It's a good fight from your leadoff hitter. Got a 2-2 count. Nice little change of speed. She lofts that out into the outfield and is caught by the center fielder for out number 3, Katie Pierce. All right, another inning in the books. We will return. All right, welcome back here to Lake Forest in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is a 0-0 ball game here, Glenn. We've got a great game going here today. Both pitchers doing great work in the circle. Tamora Hall, the freshman for Sussex Central. Kara Sumter, the senior for Lake. As we bring the top of the order, and Katie Pierce to the plate for the Lake Forest Spartans. She pokes one into play, and shortstop Adeline Lutz handles that easily for out number 1.
Yeah, Tamara had a really good outing against Appo. There quite a pitcher's duel between her and Ayla McCatherine of Appoquinimink. She struck out 10 Appo batters in that game and held them scoreless till the bottom of the 7th.
First pitch into shortstop Bailey Glandon, low in the zone for ball 1. And again, I think, you know, Hall's having a great outing today. Again, I haven't seen her pitch live until today, and I know what their record is, but she's doing a great job today keeping her team in the game. Glandon sneaks that through the 3-4 hole to right field for a base hit to get things started. But she's not wild. She's picking around the zone. You know, she's had a couple get away from her catcher that have been low in the zone and kind of in the dirt, but for a freshman, she's doing a great job, Glenn.
Yeah.
She's, you know, they're in the game, and they just have to keep working.
Big batter for her right here, Sumter. She got her to fly out to shallow right center last time up.
In for called strike. She gets the call in from the dugout. Sets to deliver.
Nice discipline by Sumter to lay off and check her
And
swing.
she wanted it too.
Yes, she did. Reminds me of A League of Their Own, one of my favorite baseball movies. Lay off the high ones.
Absolutely.
I like the high one.
And she jams her up and flares that as a pop-up to the shortstop again. Lutz having a great day over there at short, taking care of some of their biggest hitters. Good job by Hall in the circle. 2 outs. Still have Glandon standing at first base. That'll bring Chloe Ravel to the plate.
Lake's had base runners every inning.
And in scoring position, threatening at third base, and they've been able to get out of those innings. As
Foul
she
ball.
fouls it off and bounces off the top of the dugout. First baseman Carly Kruger's getting a workout today, chasing foul balls over here.
Must
Nice.
have just missed
I was
outside,
gonna
huh?
say, nice pitch low and
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And I'm sure scouting reports, you know, they're going to be careful around these heavy hitters of the Lake lineup.
Oh, there's a
She
shot.
drives one just out of the reach of the center fielder. And they're calling for it to go home. Bounces away from Baker. Throw was in time. Just bounced off her chest protector. So that is an RBI for Ravel as she drives in Bailey Glandon to put Lake Forest on the board here in the bottom of the third.
Big 2-out hit. Nice line drive. Kept the bat level through the swing zone.
So that'll bring up number 11, Rylan Rust. Central did a nice job of hitting the relay there and had the throw in on time. I think if Baker would have handled it, they would have had a chance, you know, to put a tag on her. Just bounced up off her chest protector. And that's a nice pitch there from Hall to start off. A little high in the zone, see what she can get away with.
We haven't had much rain, and it's been so windy that the fields are just so hard.
Oh, yeah, we watched
So
during
that took a
warm-up.
bad hop
Yeah.
there.
We watched during warm-up, and the coach wasn't hitting the ball very hard at all. It's bouncing all over the place. The
Yeah.
field is very,
Yeah.
very hard.
I mean, I give them credit. The grounds crew was out here. They watered down the infield when we got
They
here.
did, but
Boy, it dried up in a hurry.
a little bit of rain would help.
Yeah.
She fouled that pitch back. She's got a 1-1 count to Rust. Again, there are 2 outs here, bottom of the third. Now 1-0 Lake Forest. Nice pitch by Hall as Rust swings through that for strike number 2. And for a freshman pitcher, I really like the composure that Tamora Hall stands in that circle with Glenn. She just, next pitch mentality, she just goes to work. And there's that pitch just outside, just a little outside.
She's
It's a
nibbling.
nice pitch.
Yeah. Trying to get the batter to go for something just a little off the plate.
Runs her to a full count. Still got Chloe Ravel out at second base, 2 outs. Payoff pitch from Hall. And Rust draws the walk. That pitch just a little up in the zone. That'll bring Carly Rebuck to the plate, who singled in her first at-bat. Is one of those runners, Glenn, that made her way around to third with 2 of those balls that were kind of low in the zone, skipped away. Baker had a hard time holding on to those.
Well, so far just the 1 run across, so Hall trying to get out of any further damage here.
That ball low for ball 1. And again, another just challenging situation for this young Golden Knights team to be in and see if they can work out of and lessen the damage with 2 outs. That's a nice pitch too, just must have been a little on the inside. We see the catcher slide that way. See if Hall will go attack her now. That ball's up in the zone for ball 3.
This might be the first 3-0 count she's worked.
In the first 2 innings, she really did a great job of getting ahead. She's starting to lose that just a little bit as she's picking around the zone. Again, tough, though. You got to be careful with some of these Lake Forest hitters that can do damage, especially with runners on. She's got Hastings and Robinson on deck, yet to go if we get that far. They were both outs in their first at-bats. Nice pitch for a called strike. Obviously, Rebuck did not have the green light there on the 3-0 pitch. One now as Hall gets set to deliver to Rebuck, and she fouls that one back.
Well, that little meeting in the circle must have helped because she was 3-0, and they've worked their way back to a full count.
Well, Baker's a senior catcher who might just have to go out and have a little conversation with the freshman pitcher and say, hey, you're okay, just throw hard. That was low and inside for ball 4. That will load the bases full of Spartans. 2 outs here, bottom of the 3rd. 1 run is in this inning to put Lake Forest ahead. Brings Alyssa Hastings, the second baseman, who flied out to right field in her last at-bat. That ball's just at the top of the zone for ball 1. Again, Glenn, I like that pitch. It's right there at the letters.
Yeah.
It's not far off. Just seeing if she can get them to chase that pitch. If they do chase it, they'll pop it up. It's up in the zone. It's a hard pitch to drive.
I think John Wells has called timeout here. He's making a switch right field.
Yeah, he's going to switch out for Eikenberry because she is one of the other pitchers in his staff.
Wants to get her loose. Let's see who's out here.
It looks like
5?
number 5, Carolyn Holston. Holston for Eikenberry in right field. So that Eikenberry can go get loose, I would imagine, do some pitching today.
And get her ready in case Tamora Hall cannot get out of this bases loaded jam.
Right. Foul ball called by the umpire. Great job by him as that ball skipped away. I'm not. The first base coach is blocking my view.
Yeah. I really couldn't see what happened there. I think they're going to get together now. Coach Gabby Cubbage of Lake Forest wants the home plate umpire to get together with the base umpire, see if he had a better look at that.
I was completely blocked out. I don't know if she swung or not. He called foul. I saw the ball skip away.
Yeah, he called foul immediately. Foul ball.
Foul
I heard
ball.
that.
All right, so that'll take us to a 1-1 count to Hastings. Bases are loaded. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Every once in a while, as coaches dance around in the box, they just block our view once in a while. Hall to deliver here. That pitch is low and inside. And I see her shaking her head, looking at her coach, so maybe that pitch just isn't working for her today.
Yeah.
And that happens.
And it all depends on what kind of zone do you get from the home plate umpire.
Correct.
They're all different.
Correct. And that might be a pitch that she really likes to throw and just isn't getting the call, and they're not chasing today. So she's got to figure out something else. As she brings it up in the zone, and Hastings swings through that for strike 2. 2-2 count here.
Big pitch. It's just a 1-run game at the moment.
Big pitch for the freshman here to Hastings. And she gets her to swing through that. What a big strikeout there for Tamora Hall with bases loaded and 2 outs as they just give up the 1 run to Lake Forest here in the bottom of the 3rd. We will return at the top of the fourth with action in just a moment.
First State Orthopedics has 46 physicians and 22 physician's assistants at 16 locations across the state of Delaware. We provide both surgical and non-surgical treatment for a variety of orthopedic conditions, are specially trained in current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physicians for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to all local emergency departments, medical aid units, and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Give us a call today at 302-731-2888 or visit us online at firststateortho.com.
Welcome back to Lake Forest here in the top of the fourth inning. As we saw Lake Forest finally get on the board there, Glenn, with a run in the bottom of the third, and we saw the young Golden Knights for John Wells get out of a really sticky situation there. Bases were loaded, 2 outs. Tamora Hall, to her credit, did a great job throwing to some of their heavy hitters. A couple of walks in there. Don't know if that was intentional or not, but not necessarily a bad decision with some runners on. Could have done some more damage. So just a one-run ball game right now. As
Golden Knights got to feel very fortunate they got out of that inning with 1 run.
Absolutely, 100%. As we see the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters of the Central lineup coming up. Adeline Lutz, the shortstop, who's had a great day defensively so far. Carly Kruger and Ava Brock. They've got to make some adjustments here in the box if they're going to get a hold of Kara Sumter and get on and do any damage to try to even the score.
Oh.
That ball just gets away from her a little bit high.
I don't know whether you set up the Lake defense or not, but Carly Rebuck in left, Katie Pearson center, Keely Leach in right around the infield, first base Rylan Rust, Alyssa Hastings at second, Bailey Glandon at short, Abby Robinson at third. In the circle, Kara Sumter, Chloe Ravel behind the plate.
Swings on that, fouls it off. A 1-1 count. Lutz popped up to the shortstop in her first at-bat in the first inning. Called strike.
Belt high, must have just caught the inside corner.
Nice change of speed. Handled well by the third baseman, Abby Robinson, over to Rylan Rust for the first out of the inning. That'll bring Carly Kruger to the plate, who was one of those strikeout victims in her first at-bat. One of 5 strikeouts today for Sumter, who is just so darn accurate right now, Glenn. She's just doing such a great job of mixing pitches and clipping the corners of the plate.
It's only allowed the 1 hit, right?
Yeah. First pitch in for a ball.
So you said 5 strikeouts, so the next one will be her 80th of the season against, again, just 1 base on balls.
Remarkable. Little low. Ball 2.
One of the best pitchers in the state, and we'll get to see another pretty darn good pitcher on Tuesday down at Cape in Abby Marsh.
Ball goes in high. Ball 3. This is the first batter that she has given 3 balls to today.
Sussex Central dugout chatter coming alive.
Yeah, this Lake team won't face that Cape team in a regular season game, but 2 really good pitchers in Sumter and Marsh.
2
Both
good
seniors.
offensive teams, too.
2 good offensive teams as well. 2
Yeah.
good defensive teams.
Yeah. 2 solid ball clubs.
All right. Offers the walk to Carly Kruger. That'll bring Ava Brock up. Popped up to second baseman Alyssa Hastings in her first at-bat. in the second inning. Tried to bunt that rise ball. That is tough to get down. Got to pull back on those. So she fouls that back. As we see Coach Wells again saying, lay off the high stuff.
I wonder if she goes rise ball again here, figuring it's going to be another bunt attempt.
Emma Jackson, center fielder, on deck.
So this inning, what we've seen is Sumter a little high in the zone.
Yeah, and she's climbed the ladder a little bit. Has lost a little bit of control with the 4 straight balls to put Kruger on. As Brock fouls that off. We'll go to a 1-2 count. 1 out on the ground ball to third base by Lutz. Sussex Central trying to get something started here. Take advantage of the walk. Sumter staying high in the zone. Brock fighting that off and fouling it back again.
I remember back in the day when I played Little League, the PA guy would go, please return the foul ball for a free snow cone. They used to fight over the foul ball.
You'll notice the adjustment these Central hitters have made is to move all the way up in the box, and that is so that their eyesight catches that rise ball a little sooner and they lay off of it. When you're back in the box, you think it looks like a strike, and then it breaks on you and you're swinging, and it's really going to be around your eyeballs by the time you're done. So the adjustment they've made is to move up in the box and try to lay off that rise ball. Pitch in the zone, she's able to foul off again.
It's good at bat so far.
Looking at a 2-2 count. 6 pitch at bat for Ava Brock. Really one of the longest at bats that Central has had today against Sumter. And she swings through that for out number 2. And that is Sumter's 6th strikeout of the day. 2 down. Kruger still stands on first base as Emma Jackson comes to the plate. Pitch out of the zone for ball 1. That rise ball just getting away from her.
Yeah. This inning in particular.
And
well,
then
not that pitch.
And then goes Oppo downstairs. Again, that change of eyesight is so tough. Jackson swings through that. East-west pitching is on playing with the barrel of the bat, Glenn, right? That if you can really learn to pitch north and south, it is hard for hitters. It's hard for them to pick up the rotation of the ball. It's hard to pick up if it's rising or dropping, and it is hard to change the location of the barrel of the bat.
Sussex Central batters making Carroll work this inning.
All right, she takes that, evens the count, 2-2. Yeah, by far, she's thrown the most amount of pitches in this inning. But you got to understand, this is, the second time these girls are coming to the plate. They're trying to make some adjustments. That ball high and out of the zone as well. Another full count. And that's what you're supposed to do, right? The coaching staff's supposed to pull them aside and say, hey, let's start making some adjustments. We can't get in there and do the same thing over and over again. Expect different results. So we have to try something different as she fouls that pitch back. Good fight by Emma Jackson.
Yeah. Seeing a lot of pitches, making her work, fouling off anything close, and just hoping she makes a mistake and gets out of the zone and get another walk.
And that's what you have to do. You got to foul off the stuff that's close, hoping to see something better that you can drive. Payoff pitch from Sumter. High.
Well, she
And they
threw
throw
down.
the
That was
ball
ball
away.
4.
They threw the ball down.
No need to throw.
I don't know if they just didn't realize it was ball 4 and thought she was stealing, but they threw it to center field and gave her 60 feet.
They did.
Mental mistake there by Lake Forest, maybe?
Yeah.
Just not knowing the count. But the Golden Knights take advantage of that. Kruger now ends up at third.
Now, we've got a change. We see Coach Wells talking to the home plate umpire. So 4 re-enters.
Eikenberry was taken out of right field, and Caroline Holston came in, so I'm guessing she was out warming up. She does pitch a little bit for Coach Wells, and now she will re-enter to hit. So we have Michaela Eikenberry at the plate. She had a single to right field in her first at-bat. 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Runners at first and third. First time Central's really threatening here. They're going to send the runner.
Let her go.
Called strike to Eikenberry.
Who has, I think, still the only hit for Cape, or for Sussex Central.
She does.
Yeah. Thinking ahead. Well, she's a huge batter now.
Absolutely. 2 runners in scoring position. A ground ball to the outfield scores a run, if not 2.
Good location there by Sumter. Kept it down in the zone. She's way ahead in the count now.
0-2 to Eikenberry. I would suspect up in the zone, if not a change of speed here from Sumter.
And you called it.
Up for ball 1. We saw her change a lot more at Polytech, but they also put the ball in play a little bit more than we're seeing Sussex Central today, so it's in her back pocket if she needs it. She's been really effective elevating the pitch through the zone today. I'm a firm believer as a coach, you know, you stick with what's working and prove me wrong, right? I'm going to keep throwing it until you prove me wrong.
Eikenberry up there battling.
Sumter delivers. And Eikenberry with the second hit of the game, which is going to score 2 on the base hit to right field. So Sussex Central takes the lead on the base hit by Michaela Eikenberry to right field. Talk about a pressure situation to come through, Glenn.
She's been the big bat in the lineup for the Golden Knights. She has both their hits and now the 2 ribbies.
Have yourself a day, Michaela Eikenberry. Well done. Two outs as Nakira Copes stands in. Designated player for Central.
And how big was that throw down to second on ball 4 that allowed the runner to go to third, and then the very next pitch that with runners in the corners, they get the steal.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. And she's going to send one into center field. And interestingly, the right fielder did not charge that a whole lot, which allowed Eikenberry to end up at third.
And all of a sudden, they're getting to Sumter a little bit this inning. And it started out with some walks.
That, and like I said, you've seen them adjust and move up in the box and lay off that rise pitch. So, or high fastball, rise ball, whatever you want to call it. They've laid off it this inning, and that's been the difference maker.
A little meeting in the circle here for Lake.
Yeah, now it's going to be about, you know, controlling the damage with 2 outs.
Yeah, you got a 1-run game. You don't want to
It was a
bring
tie
that run
ball
in.
game. Tie ball game with 2 outs, and now we've seen Sussex Central go ahead. Base hits are starting to happen.
Looks like Bailey Glandon was doing most of the talking there of that meeting in the circle. The flex runs for the DP.
So number 9, Elizabeth Baker, who's the catcher, is going to come in and run for Copes, who's the DP. DP and flex are interchangeable. That's a fun rule to explain. I'm kidding. It's not. I was waiting for you to laugh.
Okay, there's your runner.
Not at all a fun role to try to explain.
But the runner over in third is big right now.
Tamora Hall stands in, pitcher to pitcher. Runner goes.
No throw to second.
So that puts Baker on second. Again, 2 in scoring position again. 2 outs. Hall was a strikeout victim in her first at-bat.
And Coach Wells was yelling to get a timeout there. He did get it.
Got strike 1 to Hall. She fouls that pitch back.
Watch out, kids.
Goes in the hole 0-2, just as she did in her first at-bat. You got Baker at second. You got Eikenberry at third. Jackson has scored. Kruger has scored. As Hall fouls that pitch off to stay alive.
We got a bunch of little kids playing around the batting cages to our left behind the Lake Forest dugout, and that's the most dangerous part of this field. That's where all the foul balls are going.
Agreed. Hope they're paying attention over there. Pitch is called in. Sumter set to deliver. And Hall swings through it. So that will end the inning, but damage done. Sussex Central takes the lead 2-1 here in the top of the fourth. We will return to see if Lake Forest can equal the score. Welcome back to Lake Forest High School here as we have the Golden Knights taking on the Lake Forest Spartans. And what an exciting top half of the fourth as Sussex Central plates 2 runs to take the lead here 2-1 over the Spartans. Michaela Eikenberry with 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and has done the job for her team today, Glenn, so far.
Yeah, she has. She's been the big bat.
Sumter struggled a little in that inning, went deep into some counts, had a little trouble finding the strike zone. We'll have to see if she bounces back from that. But Hall doing a great job in the circle as a freshman, keeping her team in the game and giving them opportunities to keep Lake Forest's big hitters off the bases. We'll see if that continues here in the bottom of the fourth. As we start with third baseman Abby Robinson, we'll see Kaylee Leach, and we will roll the order to the top, Katie Pierce.
Well, if you're a Sussex Central fan, Tamara Hall, you want her to have a shutdown inning here after taking the lead. And if you're a Lake Forest fan, you want to even this thing back up.
First pitch is in low for ball 1. Well, Hall struck these first 2 hitters out in their first at-bat in the second inning. So we will see if she goes to work and is able to repeat that, or if they may have made adjustments. Nice little change up there. Flared that ball, and it is a foul ball. That was close.
Yep, just missed.
Flared that right in front of us down the right field line. Just foul. And credit to coaching staff of Sussex Central for making some adjustments at the plate in that last inning. Nice pitch on the inside for a ball.
Yeah, they were very patient at the plate. Worked some deep counts. Got a couple walks. Then Eikenberry with a big hit.
2-1 count to Robinson.
Right at the first baseman.
Nice grab by Carly Kruger here at first base.
Yep, faked me out. I thought that was going to right field.
And this is not going to be
No.
Keely Leach. This is going to be Riley Bell, 10th grader for Lake Forest. As a pinch hitter. We'll call her a pinch hitter for now, see if Leach re-enters. First pitch in, called strike. Bell played a little bit of third base for them last year. I understand she does a little bit of pitching as well. Her job right now is see if she can get on base as she fouls that pitch back. Hall with 3 strikeouts on the day so far. This is always a tough thing to do, Glenn, just be called on as a pinch hitter and, hey, step in with no warm-up. Just have your number called and say, go get the job done. Ball up and out of the zone for ball 1.
Yeah, you always got to be ready, but again, you're coming in cold. It's not like she was over there taking BP in the cages getting ready.
Yeah, it's tough, and you have to be in the dugout paying attention and know what the situation is and how many outs there are and what your job is. And Hall gets her to swing through that for out number 2. That is her 4th strikeout of the day. And we will roll to the top of the order with the speedy Katie Pierce. I got to say, Glenn, speed's not one thing I have. I love these kids that can run. They're fun to watch. She fouls that first pitch back. These lefty slappers like that pitch on the outside because they like to try to drive it through the 5-6 hole or just loop it over the infield into the outfield. Pitchers sometimes will come in on them just because they don't like it. Right? They want that ball on the outside. That's what they hunt. And so if you come inside on them, they just get really uncomfortable and don't like it. Hall's got a 1-1 count to Pierce, who again is just another stud leadoff hitter, scrappy. Great play by third baseman Lauren Myers, headed towards the dugout over her head in foul territory to catch that for the 3rd out of the inning. Still a 2-1 ball game. We will be back in the bottom of the 4th.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
Welcome back here to Lake Forest. I lied. It's the top of the 5th. This is Glenn's job normally.
Well, you didn't lie.
Not the bottom of the 4th, top of the 5th. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm trying to do camera, and it's not
No,
my normal thing.
We're all in different roles today. It's okay. So Sussex Central will bring Avery Savage and then roll the top of the order, Lauren Myers and Adeline Lutz to the plate, as they had such a big inning last inning to take the lead 2-1. Sumter struggling just a little bit to find the zone, and she starts off that way with that elevated pitch just out of the zone for ball number 1.
I think she struck this batter out on 3 pitches last time she faced her.
She did. As Avery Savage takes a cut at that and fouls that back.
It's a good job by John Wells and his staff after the first time through the order to make some adjustments.
And And there's that pitch on the inside that I just talked about last inning. Those lefties don't like that pitch, but if you can paint the inside corner, that's a great place to go as a pitcher. 1-2, and she swings through that for out number 1.
Top of the order, right?
Top of the order, and the 8th strikeout of the day for Sumter. So pretty impressive that you got 8 strikeouts, but you're not in the lead right at the moment. So
And what she's
always an interesting stat.
2 walks today, right?
Yes.
She only had 1 coming into this.
Yeah, all season. You kept talking about that. You jinxed her.
Yeah.
All right.
That was last inning.
Pitch 1 to Myers is in for a strike. Myers just had that great catch in foul territory to end the inning. She fouls that back, and she'll go 0-2. So Sumter back to her efficient ways of getting ahead of hitters. She just had that one uncharacteristic inning there in inning number 4, where she threw a lot of pitches, got behind, had a hard time finding the zone. Ball in the dirt for ball 1. And again, when you get ahead of hitters like that, you can afford to make some mistakes. But when you're struggling and those batters have the advantage, you know, it's tough. When you have to be perfect and spot on with your pitching, pitch after pitch after pitch, wears on you. It's tough. Myers gets a piece of that. Ground ball to second base. Nice play from Alyssa Hastings to Rylan Rust for out number 2.
I think it's really key for Kara Sumter to come back and have a solid inning here after running in some trouble in the top of the 4th.
100%, and it also just shows the maturity that she has as a senior. You know, you don't go into panic mode. You're going to have ups and downs and good innings and bad innings, and so you just have to be able to bounce back for that. And what does that recovery look like for you? And if she goes into panic mode, so does the rest of the team, right? So really good for her to keep her composure and just keep going to work and keep playing ball. So here she is pitching to Adeline Lutz, who's 0 for 2 today. Ground ball to shortstop Glandon, who makes the play at first. So a 1-2-3 inning, makes quick work of that, and we will be back for the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back to Lake Forest High School as we have a great game going here between Henlopen North Sussex Central Golden Knights and Henlopen South Lake Forest Spartans. 2-1 ball game here. Central in the lead as we go into the bottom of the 5th. Bailey Glandon, Kara Sumter, Chloe Revelle, 3 big hitters in this Lake Forest lineup, Glenn.
You got Eikenberry back in right field. So I think John just brought her in to warm her up just in case Tamora didn't get out of that bases loaded jam, but she did.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And so far, Hall's done a really good job. Tamora Hall, freshman pitcher, done a really good job handling these heavy hitters of this heart of this Lake Forest lineup. So here we go.
Oh, that's
as
a
I
shot.
say that, shot to Glandon.
Gone.
Clears the fence. Home run for number 9, Bailey Glandon. That's going to even up the ball game, 2-2.
one swing of the bat. And that takes a little bit of pressure off this next batter.
And Glandon has scored both runs today.
Yeah.
And that was no question out of here. And just as our producer, Benny Mitchell, said, wind's blowing straight in. So
yeah.
Got a hold of that. She just hung that pitch up in the zone where Glandon could get a hold of it. So now Kara Sumter, who has the ability to do the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've seen that out of her before. Ball one in the dirt to Sumter. And this is where Hall just has to regroup, forget that home run, move on to the next pitch, and go after Sumter. And Glenn, that looks like a nice pitch from where we are. Obviously, we can't tell inside outside from the down the first base line, but looks like a nice pitch, just must be off the plate a little bit.
Saw Sumter kind of back up in the box.
2 balls to Sumter, Hall ready to deliver. Line drive right to the shortstop, handled well by Adeline Lutz, who's been busy today. Had a great defensive game so far for her team. First out of the inning will bring Chloe Ravel to the plate, who's 1 for 2 today. With an RBI. She plated Glandon in the 3rd inning. As she fouls that pitch. Just out of play, behind the backstop.
Opportunity here to have a little chat with head coach and third base coach Gabby Cubbage while the umpire was cleaning the plate off.
She pops that up. Second baseman Ava Brock just drifts off into the grass to catch that for out number 2. It'll bring Rylan Rust to the plate, who was a part of a fielder's choice in inning number 1 and was walked in inning number 3. Again, there's that inside pitch that's just missing the strike zone. It's a nice pitch, just a little bit off. Hall stays low in the zone for ball 2.
We've got a softball baseball doubleheader here today. I think the boys over to our left are playing Smyrna. So good crowd out here.
First strike in to Rust as Hall comes up in the zone and gets her to swing through that. Got a 2-1 count now. So minus that one pitch right away to Bailey Glandon. Hall's done a great job here the rest of the way to recoup and recover from that. Gets Rust to swing through that. Looked like that was just high and outside. Got her to chase. 2-2 count. As Rust fights that and fouls that off.
And she's done a real good job controlling Kara Sumter, one of the most dangerous hitters on Lake's team. I think she's gotten her out every time.
Listen, I had just said she'd done such a good job with the heart of that lineup before she hung that pitch to Glandon. So all in all, got a ball they're going to try and track here in foul territory right in front of us.
Yep.
All in all, Hall really has done an exceptional job of handling the heart and the meat of this Lake Forest lineup that has such power and depth. She made a mistake to Bailey Glandon, you know, and you just have to come back from that. And so far, that's what we've seen out of her, which speaks volumes out of a freshman pitcher. And she gets her to chase high in the zone. A little miscommunication between Hall and Lauren Myers, the third baseman, on what should have been just a routine pop-up. Kind of hit right back to Hall. So that's just player miscommunication. That's a ball that has to be caught.
Well, we'll have to see if Lake Forest takes advantage of this or if Hall can regroup.
And that's just unfortunate, right? She should be out of the
Yeah,
inning.
yep.
So that brings Carly Rebuck to the plate, who walked in her last at-bat as pitch 1 is in low in the dirt. Good job back there by
Baker
to hang on to that pitch. We've seen a couple of them skip away from her today. Rebuck had a single in her first at-bat in the second inning. And that just gets away from Hall. Way high out of the zone. Which will move Rust to second on a wild pitch.
Another little meeting in the circle with Baker and Hall.
And we've seen this before today where Baker goes out, calms her down.
Right.
You know, says, hey, look, just a little high five there. It's you and me, just you and the glove. Come back to it. There's 2 outs. Lessen the damage with 2 outs. It's hard for young teams to do sometimes. They don't have to worry about the runner on second. They got to worry about the batter. That's what we hear Coach Wells saying right now. 2 balls to Rebuck.
Ooh.
And Hall picks up a called strike at the very bottom of the zone. Two-two game here in the 5th. Rebuck fouls that back. So that'll even the count. 2-2.
Deuces are wild again on the scoreboard.
It's your favorite saying.
2-2 score, 2 outs, 2-2 count.
I wasn't going to steal it from you. Little flare shot here.
Just foul.
Just foul in front of us.
That would probably have been a run, and it would have been an unearned run.
Knowing Coach Wells the way I do, anything to the outfield is going to score that run. Coach Cubbage, I'm sorry.
Yep, good pickup at second.
Nice pick from second base.
They had a couple of good catches in the infield this inning, including that line drive off the bat of Sumter.
Nice play there by the second baseman to get out of that inning, and we will return 2-2 ball game here.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across Central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area for dependable HVAC services. Give us a shout or a bark at Barclay Heating and Air. Looking to stay.
Welcome back here to Lake Forest as we get into the 6th inning here with the score tied 2-2.
Got a timeout here by the home plate umpire. Glenn Frazier on the camera. Shannon Timmons calling the game. Benny Mitchell production.
Sumter's first pitch to Kruger is a ball. Glandon was able to send 1 yard here to tie it up 2-2 in the last inning. Other than that, Hall limited the damage.
Ooh.
As that is in the gap into right center, struggling to come up with it. And Kruger is going to get in there with a stand-up double.
3rd hit of the game for Central.
4th hit of the game
4th.
for Central.
Okay.
Again, credit to the coaching staff and these hitters for making some adjustments against standout senior pitcher Kara Sumter. Brings Ava Brock to the plate, 0 for 2 today. She flares one in the 3-4 hole that Wells is going to send that runner to score easily.
So just like that, they regain the lead.
So Brock with a nice little single RBI scores Kruger. And very quickly, Sussex Central is back in the lead. Brings Emma Jackson. And these hits are just squeaking through here, Glenn.
Yeah, good placement.
That bunt attempt was fouled off by Jackson.
I haven't seen Sussex Central be successful trying to lay down bunts today.
No, and you know what, Glenn? It's hard against a pitcher like Sumter who likes to keep the ball up in the zone. I mean, let's face it, she's smart enough, and her coaching staff, you know, Gabby Cubbage is smart enough to know when these bunt situations are presenting themselves to know to keep that ball up in the zone. A rise pitch, a high fastball, very, very difficult to put down. So even at the thought of, you know, hey, this situation, this kid could lay down a bunt, you're going to see that ball stay up in the zone. Makes it very difficult to do. 1-1 count here to Jackson with Brock on first after she scored Kruger. 2 quick hits here. Pop that bunt up. Catcher gives chase but cannot catch up to it. So Jackson in the hole, 1-2. Very few coaches will ask for this ball to be bunted again, because if you bunt it foul, you're out.
All right.
You would totally catch a defense off guard if you did it, but it's a big gamble. And she is swinging away and fouls that pitch off. Does a good job to fight that pitch up in the zone for some new life. Little change of speed there. They go for the lead runner at second. Good choice by Abby Robinson over at third base, cut down that lead runner. Jackson with the fielder's choice, now stands at first. And that is the first out of the inning. It's going to bring Michaela Eichenberry to the plate, who has had herself a day, Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
Ball up in the zone for ball 1.
2 hits, 2 RBI, right?
2 hits, 2 RBIs, and just crucial hits, clutch hits. Up high in the zone again as Sumter struggles to adjust, as these Central hitters have adjusted to her. She's got to readjust. Jackson with an aggressive lead here at first. Three straight balls to Eichenberry.
I can't tell if there's anything with her mechanics that are a little off here in these middle innings, but she's been missing at the top of the zone since the 4th.
Brought it down just a little bit that time for a called strike. 3-1 here to Eichenberry, 1 out. Top of the 6th. 3-2 Central leads. She fouls that off. Take it to full count.
Well, with the success that Eichenberry has had at the plate against Sumter today, she is oozing with confidence back there.
Agreed, and rightfully so. And I really think the only thing that's changed a little bit is Sumter's body language. Ground ball to short, Glandon fields it, over to first for the out.
Good advancement by the runner, nice base running. Get down to second.
2 outs. Glandon knew she didn't have time to get the force at second to cut down the lead runner, so you take the sure out at first. 2 down, and that will bring...
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter.
the DP back. We keep flip-flopping that DP and flex.
Yep, the re-enter. Yep.
So Copes will hit again as the DP.
I saw the first base coach for Sussex Central just yell to the batter, Copes, hey, pointed to right field.
Yep, well, that's where she put it last time, so he just wants to hit replay on her. Got Jackson standing at second, 2 down here. Copes was part of that exciting inning. She fouls off.
Ooh, that got jammed big
pitch
time.
Number 1, yeah.
I think she
Flying
almost hit her hand. If it did, it might have caught her hand and the bat.
As Coach Wells is going to check her out, that might very well be the case.
She's trying to shake it off that right hand.
But Copes was part of that, you know, inning number 4 where they had the walk and then 2 hits back-to-back, scoring runs to take the lead.
Umpire just dusting off the plate, giving her a little bit extra time to shake off that pitch to the, I guess it caught her fingers. Good movement on that pitch by Sumter. It moved in on her and jammed her up. All right, she's set and ready.
0-1 here to Copes.
Very good pitch.
Takes that for strike 2. As I was saying, the only thing I think that's changed is a little bit of body posturing from Kara Sumter.
Got her way out in front of that changeup.
Gets her to chase that for out number 3 and limits the damage. So we will step aside. Game is 3-2 Sussex Central as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back here to Lake Forest High School as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Sussex Central took the lead 3-2 in the top of the 6th on a RBI single by Emma Jackson that scored Carly Kruger. So just a back and forth seesaw type of game here today, Glenn.
Yeah.
Both pitchers have had innings where they've thrown really well, and both pitchers have had innings where they've gone deep in counts and given up some base hits and a home run to Bailey Glandon.
Yeah, that tied the game up, switched momentum, and then Central came right back in the top half of the inning. Earlier today in the Henlopen Conference, Smyrna Eagles defeated Indian River by a score of 5-3 in softball action. Of course, this is the Easter break for public schools, and they're getting some early action in.
You know, and credit to both of these teams, this back and forth action, just, you know, nobody's getting down. Everybody just continues to play, and credit to the coaching staff for kind of keeping their heads in that position and ready to go. So here we go, Alyssa Hastings fouling the first pitch off of her third at-bat here today. She is 0 for 2 against Tamora Hall.
Third time around for these Lake batters.
Hall with 4 strikeouts going into this inning. Sumter, her counterpart, with 9.
I think really important here for Lake Forest, the home team here in the bottom of the 6th, to maybe get one of these bottom 3 batters on base and set the table for the top, so at least the meat of that order comes up in the 7th.
Yeah, the bottom of the order has definitely struggled. Hall's kind of owned them all day. So they haven't, you know, been the run-producing top part of the order that we've seen so far this season. just because the bottom of the order has struggled a little bit more than expected, I guess, than what we've seen so far this season. So Hastings goes down on pitches for Hall's 5th strikeout of the day. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed with Tamora Hall.
Yes.
I haven't seen her throw live at all, like I said earlier. I'm impressed. As a freshman, the composure she's had, she's been in some sticky situations today and just continues to go to work. So regardless, this little pop-up to the first baseman here from Abby Robinson will be out number 2. Regardless of the outcome today, like, kudos to Tamora Hall.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think she's been pitching better here as of late. So even if she retires the number 9 hitter in the lineup for Lake here, Lake will have the top of the order in the bottom of the 7th.
Foul ball from Keely Leach, who was pinch hit for in
That's
the last inning with Riley Bell. So just one at-bat for Leach so far today, in which she was one of the strikeout victims. Nice little change of speed there by Hall, called strike. So Leach quickly finds herself in the hole 0-2. Third pitch of the at-bat, just high and out of the zone for ball number 1. Leach fouls that one back.
Got to be a future softball star over here retrieving all these foul balls.
They're keeping her busy.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get a quick shot of this little girl here if I can. No, I can't get around. Can't get around enough.
Check swing by Leach. 2-2 count.
Stretch the cords out too much. Quick feet.
Going to run that to a full count. And I'm not sure what pitch Hall is trying to throw. Those ones that just get away from her in the dirt. Payoff pitch coming. Up in the zone, and Leach is able to foul that off. 7th pitch of the at-bat for Keely Leach. She had a great at-bat the first time around, seeing 5 pitches before the strikeout. A lot of fight here, so somebody just has to win the battle. Payoff pitch again. And Hall wins the battle with another strikeout for out number 3.
Well, we head to the 7th.
Head to the 7th.
We got a 1-run ball game here with Central on top, 3-2. And where are they going to be in the order here? Down at the bottom?
8-9-1.
8-9-1 for Central, and then bottom of the 7th, it'll be top of the order for the Spartans when we come back after this.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott.
Welcome back here to Lake Forest High School as the Sussex Central Golden Knights lead 3-2 as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Tamora Hall, freshman pitcher, will lead off as Sumter gets ready to deliver with a changeup and gets her way out in front of that.
Well,
for strike number 1.
You
I told you she had it in her back pocket.
You see pros in the MLB look silly on those pitches. Well, Kara just, oh.
We haven't seen it much today, but I told you she had it. And comes back with the speed to get Hall swinging through that. She is quickly 0-2 in the count. Hall has struggled at the plate today. 2 strikeouts so far. She's gone down on 3 pitches each time. And there's that changeup again. Gets a little dribbler in. Nice play made by the third baseman, Abby Robinson. Over to Rylan Rust at first for out number 1. That'll bring Avery Savage to the plate, who has also struck out twice.
Big batter from Myers if she can get the number 9 batter here and then just go to work on the leadoff batter without going into the meat of the order.
Yep, Savage the only lefty in this central order. Nice bunt laid down, but Sumter takes care of it herself. Always nice when we see the pitchers field their position well.
Yep.
So made quick work of that. 2 outs here as we go to the top of the order with Lauren Myers, who's 0 for 3 today, 1 strikeout. She did have a heck of a defensive play over there in foul territory, as she just nubs a little ground ball and
foul off her foot.
Dead ball off her foot.
Give this home plate umpire credit. I can hear him. He's making the calls nice and loud. I hate the silent ones.
I know. He has done a great job of signaling everything and calling it, so everybody's aware of what's going on. Bounces one to the second baseman. Nice play made by Alyssa Hastings to Rylan Rust. Made quick work of that. 1, 2, 3. We will be back with the bottom of the 7th inning after these messages. Welcome back here to Lake Forest High School as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Sussex Central Golden Knights lead 3-2. And we will start with the top of the Lake order. Katie Pierce lays down the bunt, and she will beat that out for an infield single. Fielded by Myers, nice job by her, but the speed of Pierce is undeniable as she does her little dance that she does when she gets on first base. We have seen that out of her a couple times so far this season. I think she has a couple different ones, Glenn. She has a timeout dance.
Yeah, she does.
She has a bunt for a single dance.
She's got a big repertoire.
Whole thing of choreography going on there. First pitch into Bailey Glandon, who homered in her last at-bat, singled in the 3rd. So she's 2 for 3 today with an RBI.
Pierce is a threat to steal here.
Absolutely wheels with Katie Pierce at first base.
And, of course, she represents the tying run.
2 balls into Glandon.
Of course, Glandon had the big dinger to tie the game momentarily. What was that, in the 5th?
Correct.
Bottom of the 5th. Good pitch there by Hall, but she's being very careful so far with Glandon.
Well, I don't blame her.
No.
She's got to be careful. And I just said before Glandon hit the home run, she's done a great job with the heart of this order that is so powerful and so dangerous as she gets Glandon to chase high and foul that pitch off.
She jammed her a little bit there. And Bailey a little bit late with a swing.
So a 2-2 count to Bailey Glandon as Hall gets set to deliver. Katie Pierce stands at first. She is the tying run. Ball low to Glandon. Really good discipline there by Glandon on that pitch.
Ooh, that took a lot of discipline to take that pitch.
Full count. Payoff pitch coming from Hall. In the dirt low, walks Glandon. So first 2 batters are on for Lake Forest here in the bottom of the 7th. No outs, and that will bring Kara Sumter to the plate. She's 0 for 3 today with a fly ball to center and 2 line drives, pop-ups.
She hit a line drive to short
to
last.
the shortstop.
Yep.
So she's kept the shortstop busy today. Hall's done a good job managing her at the plate.
She's due, I think.
Hall's going to have to be careful not to keep the ball in the dirt that gets away from Baker back there and give these runners any chance to advance on any pass balls or wild pitches, that's for sure. First pitch in is the ball high to Sumter. And these first 2 getting on here gives the Lake Forest dugout some life. We can hear them coming to life in there, starting to cheer. Bottom of the 7th, they're just down by a run, Glenn, so tying run is on second. Go ahead run on first. Pitch to Sumter. She swings through that with a big cut.
Good pitch by Hall. Now I want to say it again. She's done a great job on Kara Sumter.
She really has. She's done a great job today in general. She's kept her poise. She's been in some difficult situations. Inside low, called a strike to Sumter.
Now you got to protect. If you're Kara, you've got to try to battle in there. The one thing she wants to do if she can't get a hit is try to advance these runners.
She swings at that elevated pitch but fouls it back.
Pierce on at second. A lot of speed there. Any kind of hit should easily score her.
1-2 count here to Sumter. Hall gets set to deliver. Nice pitch again by Hall. Sumter fights it off. 5th pitch of the at-bat for Sumter. Again, pitcher to pitcher. It's always an interesting matchup. Pitchers spend so much time honing their pitching craft, but I really do believe they should be some of the best hitters. Pitch high and gets away. Pierce is just fast enough to take advantage of that ball popping out of the glove and get to third for the stolen base.
And Glandon moved up to second when Pierce took off.
And Glandon follows up. Great base running by Pierce there.
Yeah, it didn't take much there. She gets a good lead as soon as that ball is released out of Hall's hand.
2-2 count now to Sumter. Got Pierce 60 feet from scoring. No outs here, bottom of the 7th.
Coach Wells wants a timeout.
Katie Pierce.
I think they want to go ahead and walk Sumter now.
I think that's an intentional walk. They're going to intentionally put Sumter on.
Yeah. Well, that sets up the force everywhere.
I mean, it's not a bad move. It makes it much easier for your infield. And with the power that Sumter has, it's not necessarily a bad move. So it brings Chloe Ravel to the plate, who's 1 for 3 today with a stand-up double to center in the 3rd. And you can see she's hyped up. She's bouncing around, getting ready to get in. She's got to settle herself not to get too over anxious. Bases are loaded here, no outs.
Good hold off there.
First pitch is in for a ball high out of the zone. So infield's got a force anywhere. Katie Pierce at third base represents the tying run. Bailey Glandon at second would be the go-ahead run. Caught here by Eikenberry in right field.
Oh, she didn't tag.
And Pierce did not tag.
I guess Gabby told her not to go.
So that is out number 1 on a fly ball to right by Ravel, and all the runners stay put for Lake. That'll bring Ryland Rust to the plate.
Ground ball. That's
Ground
through.
ball up the middle. Scores 1 to tie. Here comes Glandon in.
She's out.
And she is out. They tried to send her to go ahead with the run to take the win, and Glandon gets thrown out at home. What a throw coming in from Emma Jackson in center field to cut down Glandon. So game is tied on Pierce, who was able to score on the Rust single to center. But Glandon is cut down.
Give Hall a lot of credit, though. She's 1 out of getting out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam with just a 1 run.
2 down now. Carly Rebuck stands in and fouls off the first pitch. Rebuck 1 for 2 today with a walk. So game is now tied 3-3.
Are you surprised at all that Lake Forest is not moving that runner from first down to second?
I am.
Not that it matters.
It doesn't, but
It takes away the force.
I am surprised.
Pop up in the infield.
Pops that up. I don't know if it'll stay in.
It's caught, I think. Yep.
Caught
I couldn't quite get it for the dugout.
I think Carly Kruger in foul territory. So they tie the game with Katie Pierce scoring on the Ryland Rust single to center, and we are going to go extras.
Bonus softball.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch.
Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel. Welcome to Surf Bagel.
All right, welcome back to Lake Forest as we are tied up here 3-3, headed to the top of the 8th inning. An exciting bottom of the 7th there, Glenn, as Sussex Central really did work out of quite a situation. Katie Pierce scored on the single from Ryland Rust.
Yeah, she lit off with a bunt single, and then Bailey Glandon drew a full count walk. And then they got behind. The runners advanced second and third on I guess a pass ball. But they were, 3-1?
Yes.
Or 3-2, I don't know. But Wells decided, let's just walk Sumter and load the bases. And that worked out for them.
It did. So here we go. Into extras. And I hear him saying Addie. We've been calling her Adeline because that's what came in on this sheet today, but we'll change that, sorry. We'll go to Addie Lutz here in the 8th inning. He's going to lead off shortstop for Central. Takes a called strike up in the zone from Kara Sumter. And she gets one to loop in just over the outreached arm of first baseman Ryland Rust. So Sussex Central's first hitter is aboard.
They know how to answer.
Talk about never say die attitude. They have shown that all day today. In steps Carly Kruger, who has scored 2 runs for them today, walked, struck out, had a double, and she lays down a nice bunt, fielded by Robinson at third to advance the runner to second. Nice sacrifice bunt by Kruger for out number 1. Advancing Lutz to second.
Coach Wells playing a little small ball.
Well, he's not new to this. He's been around quite some time, has quite a resume.
Not his first barbecue.
You know, 10 state title game appearances. Ground ball to second base. Bobbles it, tries to stay with it, and decides just to eat it and not make a throw at first. So Ava Brock is on first. That advances Lutz to third.
Now, every time Coach Wells has had a runners on the corner situation, he has sent the runner from first to second. Let's see if they do it, and will Lake have any kind of play on?
One out here, top of the eighth. Runners at first and third for Sussex Central. That will bring Emma Jackson to the plate, who has walked, singled, struck out, scored a run. Calling timeout here. Coach Wells wants to have a word with his hitter before she steps in.
Maybe telling her to take that first pitch so he can send that runner down.
Quite possibly. Or square for a bunt and just fake it.
That too.
Dare I say, bunt the ball and put the defense on their toes in a very difficult situation. Sumter set to deliver. Swings away, sends the runner who is safe. And the runners advance. We are first and third again. Jackson with an RBI, scoring Lutz.
That's a big run, because looking ahead to the bottom of the eighth, Lake is down near the bottom of their order where they haven't had much success today against Hall.
So Sussex Central takes the lead.
And they're not, it doesn't look like they're done.
One out here, top of the eighth. Runners at first and third. Michaela Eikenberry, who's had a big day today, steps in.
No throw to second.
So Eikenberry takes called strike one to let that runner advance to second. Not really a stolen base, just catcher indifference, decides not to make a play on her, waiting to see what the runner at third will do. The 0-1 pitch. Down in the zone, gets Eikenberry to chase. Regardless of what Eikenberry does here, Glenn, you can't take away the fact that she has had just an amazing day for her team. Coming up clutch, 2 RBIs, just hit in pressure situations. Nice change up from Sumter. Gets Eikenberry way ahead of that.
And that was a big out.
Out number 2. That is her 10th strikeout on the day today. 2 outs now. Brings the designated player, Nakaira Copes, to the plate. Copes was a strikeout victim last time at the plate. She swings through strike one.
I guess that hand's okay because she swung, fouled the ball, but it caught part of her hand last at bat.
And the way she stepped back from that, I'm going to say Kara went inside on her there, trying to jam her up to take some of her power away. Not giving her anything she can drive. It's a nice pitch from Sumter. Two down here, top of the 8th. Central leads 4-3. Copes is 0-2. In the count, we have runners in scoring position at second and third. And jams are up inside. Nice play from the second baseman. She's fighting that finger again, Glenn. It looks like she got her again.
Yeah.
So, Sussex Central takes the lead here. We will be back with the bottom of the 8th momentarily. Welcome back here to Lake Forest as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Sussex Central leads 4-3 on an RBI single by Emma Jackson in the top of the 8th to score Addie Lutz. Lake Forest is going to bring the bottom of their order to the plate here, starting with Alyssa Hastings, Abby Robinson, and then Keely Leach. See if they can tie this up or have the go-ahead for a walk-off.
Hall's had a lot of success with these bottom 3 batters.
Yes, she has.
That one's coming right toward us.
Off.
And right over our tent.
Hastings 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, fly ball to right.
That one just missed.
I was going to say ball low in the zone. 1-1 count to Hastings. She falls behind. 2-1 to Hastings, which she also did in the 3rd inning before coming back to strike her out. What I think I really like about Tamara Hall as a freshman is you just can't count her out. She just keeps working. Comes back with a nice pitch on the what looks like the inside of the plate based on the way Hastings swung.
So
2-2.
Just got to make contact here. If you're the batter. Don't try to swing for the fences. Shorten that swing up a little bit.
Full count now here to Alyssa Hastings. Payoff pitch from Hall. Fouled off. Good fight here by Hastings. Seeing Hall for the 4th time today. Trying to do her job and get on base, which she does, earning a walk as Hall can't locate that last pitch.
Well, that's a key, because if Central can't get a double play here, they will get around to the leadoff batter, Pierce.
That'll bring Abby Robinson, the 3rd baseman, to the plate, who's 0 for 3 today as well, struck out and has gone unassisted to the 1st baseman twice. She squares to bunt and can't get it down. Foul ball.
Yep.
Smart move by Coach Gabby Covage.
Yeah.
Player who struggled a little bit to put the ball in play, trying to advance a runner. See if she can get it down. Again, I would suspect we'll see Hall try to keep the ball up in the zone. Makes it very difficult to bunt.
Ooh. Shot.
Line drive to left field. Avery Savage comes up with that, gets it in quickly.
How about the bottom of the order coming through here for the first time today?
First hit of the day for Abby Robinson.
Meeting in the circle now as to what they want to do. I would think this batter's up there to bunt and advance those 2 into scoring position.
I agree 100%. And so if you're Tamora Hall, you've got to keep that ball in the strike zone, but elevated just a little bit to make that bunt a little bit harder to lay down. We'll see if she has that kind of control. We'll see if that's the strategy they go with. 2 runners on here, bottom of the 8th. Lake is behind by a run, 4-3. Keely Leach steps in, squares to bunt, pulls back on the low pitch from Hall, ball 1.
Good rotation by Sussex Central's infield. Had 3rd baseman charging, shortstop covering the bag at 3rd.
Not just that, you see these outfielders moving too, you know, typical John Wells coach team. Everybody moves on every pitch. And she makes the attempt on the bunt, can't get that laid down for strike number 1.
Just got a piece of that.
1-1 count now to Keely Leach. Bunt attempt again. Can't get the bunt down. It's a huge advantage for Hall right there. 1-2 count to Leach. And Hall gets her swinging through for out number 1.
All right, last time Pierce laid down the bunt, but she did that for the hit. They're going to play her in tight.
And that is Hall's 7th strikeout of the day, Glenn. Not bad for a freshman. Rolls the top of the order. There's Katie Pierce.
Just foul.
Fouls one down the third base line.
Good idea with the third baseman charging on a apparent bunt attempt. Drive it past her. Just hit it foul.
And again, I'm actually not surprised that you don't see like a left fielder step in to make 3 infielders on that side and just rotate your outfield over just to dare her to hit to right field, right? Take your right fielder out of the equation altogether. You see that in some college rotations. They take the bunt, they take the slap, they take every option away. You move your left fielder in to basically be an infielder, and you rotate your outfield over. Nice little slap.
Hits one deep.
Lifted to left. And it is foul. So Pierce goes in the hole 1 and 2. Runners still remain at first and second base.
Yep. So with 2 strikes, that takes away that bunt attempt now, but not the slap.
You have 1 out. And she's going to push that just foul again. All set to deliver. Looks like the pitch is going outside. And Pierce puts it foul down the third base line again.
She's battling out there.
This will be her 6th pitch of the at-bat. She's just trying to flail things off and hope that Hall lays something over the plate she can do something with.
Got a piece of that.
Fouls that off again. And she's just really flailing the barrel of that bat out there. Fighting off things as best she can.
Making an appearance out here of the softball diamond is the athletic director for Lake Forest High School, Freddie Johnson, the football coach. Well, she just got a defensive piece with that one.
Fouled that back. 8th pitch of her at-bat. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Katie Pierce. Alyssa Hastings at second. Abby Robinson stands at first. Hall delivers, and she pokes that into left field. Savage picks it up and sends it into home, trying to hold the runners, which she does, but it loads the bases for Lake Forest.
And Bailey Glandon in a key spot again. Had a solo homer back in the 5th to tie the game momentarily.
There's 1 out here, bottom of the 8th, as Glandon steps in, tying run at 3rd, go-ahead winning run at 2nd.
There's a shot to left.
And that's going to tail foul. Fly ball to the outfield. I would assume runners will tag, score a run to tie it up. Ground ball to the outfield, I would think, Cubbage would send both runners from second and third trying to win the ball game.
Ooh,
and
just a little bit high.
Gets cranked.
And everybody's got to retreat.
Wild pitch by Hall, but she does a great job getting in. Catcher Baker does a great job of getting the ball coming off the backstop. And everybody retreats back to where they came from. 1-1 count to Glandon.
Hastings is on third, right?
That would have been a little chaotic. Yes,
She
Hastings is on third.
She got down to about maybe 10 feet from home and scampered back to third.
Hall to deliver.
Good look.
A little low for ball 2. Glandon has a great eye for the strike zone. Don't expect she'll chase anything too far out of the zone. Checks that swing on the pitch. Oh, he says she went. So evens the count, 2-2.
Fans are getting loud out
gonna
there
say,
beyond the outfield.
There's some parents who don't agree with that call, but that's okay. Not their call to make. Checks that.
Yep.
Full count to Glandon.
Wow. You're right. She does have a great eye.
Hall has nowhere to put her. She's got to go after her, or she walks the tying run in. Payoff pitch. A little low in the zone. Glandon sort of golfs at it and sends it foul down the left field line. New life for Glandon.
I want to say we probably have about well over 100 fans out there in that outfield.
Still just one out here, bottom of the 8th. Bases are loaded. One out. Central's up 4-3. Lake Forest has them loaded. Glandon steps in. Hall sets to deliver. Glandon sends a shot. And that is a grand slam walk-off win, Bailey Glandon.
Wow. She'll be greeted at home plate. What a come-from-behind win by the home team.
Second home run of the day for Glandon for the walk-off win for Lake Forest.
And there's our player of the game right there.
And there's your player of the game.
Bailey Glandon, 2 home runs, 5 RBI, and a walk-off grand slam. Well, we've seen some interesting things over the past week. We saw a triple play in college softball.
At Goldie Beacom, yes
yeah.
we did.
And which made Sports Center, by the way.
Yes, it did.
And now a walk-off grand slam by the home team.
All right, we will return to Lake Forest here momentarily.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across Central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area for dependable HVAC services. Give us a shout or a bark at Barclay Heating and Air.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware. You've been by our side since our doors opened.
Thank you so much for giving me a call on so many years ago when I had no credit.
You helped our business grow into what it is today.
As a military family, thank you for supporting the financial needs of servicemen and their loved ones.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, you know, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all the seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris.
Welcome back to Lake Forest High School. I'm Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons and Benny Mitchell. And we have now with us, wearing the Delaware 302 bling bling, our player of the game from Lake Forest, Bailey Glandon. Bailey, congratulations. First, talk to us about you guys were behind, it seemed like the whole game, to Sussex Central, and then you came up to bat in the 5th inning. Tell us about that at bat and the home run that tied it.
Honestly, from that at bat, I was just looking to get a base hit. I have full trust in the two people behind me, so I never go up there with the intention to hit a home run. So honestly, I was just trying to get a base hit and put my team in a good spot to score something there because we needed something there.
Battling back and forth with Sussex Central today. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 8th inning, extra innings. You got bases juiced. But let's talk about how you loaded the bases. It was the bottom of the lineup that really didn't have much success with Tamora Hall all day. They came through for you big.
I feel like we have trust in everybody, and in that moment they knew that we needed them right there, and they showed up big. And
they got on base for you, and talk about that long at bat. You working the full count, the check swing.
Yeah. In that moment I knew that, I mean, he can't put me anywhere. But still, I had to, compose myself. I knew I couldn't swing at something crazy, which I tried to do there. So I was just looking for something chalk to chalk, and I found it, and it worked out.
Hey, talk about batting against the freshman, Tamora Hall. She did a good job against you guys today.
Yeah, she did. She was very composed for a freshman. Definitely one of the best pitchers we've seen so far, and I think she composed herself really well for being a freshman. And we have a really good, really strong lineup, and she handled us well.
Our player of the game, Bailey Glandon, who excited the car crowd out in the outfield with a walk-off grand slam. Congratulations, Bailey.
Thank you.
Our player of the game, Bailey Glandon. As we wrap this thing up, Shannon, I'm going to let you take back over, and we'll zoom in on the Lake Forest players over there. I'm sure they're having there she's now joining the group.
Yeah, what a day for Lake Forest. This back and forth battle, again, speaks volumes about just Henlopen softball in general, right, Glenn? We see this a lot out of the Henlopen softball. And credit to Sussex Central. You know, John's got it. Yeah. Coach Wells has a young team, and for them to come in and battle what could possibly be one of the best teams on paper in the state right now, and Lake Forest, and they show up and they had a battle what's probably the top pitcher in the state right now in Kara Sumter, and they did a good job. Michaela Eikenberry had a day. Tamora Hall had a day. So, you know, he certainly has some bright spots today, and they can't lose sight of those things as they continue to move forward. While their record might not be what they want it to be right now, they do have some bright spots moving forward. Can't say enough about this Lake Forest team. Right, they battle, and they just continue to battle, and they wear you down, and they continue to battle. Kara Sumter, inning to inning, you know, had a really good inning, would shut them down 1, 2, and 3, and then would come back and struggle a little bit. So, speaks volumes to her too about her composure and how she's able to just battle through some tough innings and just losing sight of the zone a little bit. And she's going to need that as they progress through, and I would suspect, you know, go into the postseason at this point. So, congratulations to both teams, obviously. Bailey Glandon getting it done with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs and the walk-off grand slam. You know, congratulations. What more can you say?
Yeah, and we'll have another high school game for you next week, and Tuesday, weather permitting, we'll be at Cape Henlopen. We'll get a look at the second-ranked Cape Henlopen Vikings as they take on this Sussex Central team. That could be a good one as well. Our thanks to both head coaches, Gabby Cubbage of Lake Forest and John Wells from Sussex Central, along with athletic director Freddie Johnson, who made an appearance out here right near the end of the game, and his staff for all their work. For Shannon Timmons, I'm Glenn Fraser. This has been a Benny Mitchell production. The final score, once again, in 8 innings, 7-4, Lake Forest. Thanks for watching our live stream here on 302 Sports.